Hey guys, this is DoYou-Gi-Oh coming at you with a Cyber Dragon deck profile. So let's get right into it. First, obviously, we run 3 Cyber Dragons. You always run 3 in a Cyber Dragon deck, obviously. Then 3 Greys when it's normal summon, so you can make all your Cyber Dragons become level 5. And then it's really great to go into Nova and Infinity, or even just any of your rank 5 disease monsters. And then a lot of people forget about its other effect. Well, you'd only be able to go into Zenmayo other than Nova to Infinity with that, because you can only summon machine-type monsters with that effect. But a lot of people forget its other effect. When it's banished, you can target a Cyber Dragon with control, and it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects that turn. And so that effect isn't used super often, but it's a really helpful effect sometimes, so don't forget that effect. Then 3 Cyber Dragon Cores. This is like the best card in the deck. When it's normal summon, you can add a Cyber spell trap card from your deck to your hand, so you're always going to be adding Repair Plant. And then your opponent controls, and so if your opponent controls a monster and you don't, then you can banish it from your graveyard and special summon a Cyber Dragon monster from your deck. So it doesn't even have to be Cyber Dragon. It can be like Dre or like Toon Cyber Dragon. I run 3 Toon Cyber Dragons in this deck. And I agree with Yuki Nono. If you don't know who Yuki Nono is, go check out his channel. He has like a really great Yu-Gi-Oh channel. But I agree with Yuki Nono. Cyber Dragon Core's effect or attack needs to be a lot higher. Even if it meant I don't know. It's just if his attack was like 1800 or something, because you search when it's normal summon. So like with 400 attack, it's just gonna get destroyed. So you kind of have to make a sacrifice, or you have to get rid of it to get out Fortress Dragon with it or something. Then I run 3 Toon Cyber Dragons. I search them with Toon Table of Contents, great deck thinning, and then 3 Galaxy Soldiers, standard card in Cyber Dragon decks. You can send another light monster from your hand to the graveyard. So a lot of times you want to do like a Cyber Dragon or something for Cyber Repair Plant's effect, and special summon in defense position. So and then when it's special summon, you can add a Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. So it's really easy to get out Infinity with this card. You can just send a light monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon it in defense, search another soldier, send another light monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon the other soldier, get out Nova, get out Infinity, and then just win. Then I run 1 Honest. I had a bit of extra room in this deck, and I don't want to cut it because it's just a great card. Like, some people just take this out of their Cyber Dragon decks or rule it out, but I am always going to keep it in my Cyber Dragon deck, because a lot of times even if you Reckless Greed into it, like they attack, you can chain Reckless Greed, draw into an Honest, and then activate your Honest. It's like really awesome. And then 1 Cyber Eltanin. I run 1 of this card. It's just a great card. It can like literally just win games by itself. So you just banish all your light machine type monsters from your side of the field and graveyard, and then its attack is 500 times that. So it's like, and then it destroys all other face-up monsters on the field when it's summoned. So you can just clear the field and then destroy your opponent with it. Then I run 1 Max C for draw power. Good draw power card. And it can shut down your opponent's plays if they don't want you to get a lot of draws. So there you might just not special summon. Best case scenario. And then if they do, you get to draw. And then now onto the spells. I run 3 Power Bonds. Insanely good card. It's like Poly, but it doubles the attack, and then you take that much damage until the end phase. And so a lot of times I'll even get out Parapsychroid. It's a good card, and or Twin Dragon to attack twice with 5600, but just you have to run 3 in a Cyber Dragon deck. Then 3 Polys. On Yuki Nono's deck profile I watched, I mentioned him earlier, he didn't run any Polys. I was kind of wondering about that, so I'm running 3. If you guys have any reason that I shouldn't, comment below, but for now I'm still running 3, because it's just obviously for Cyber Dragons getting out your fusions. Then I run 3 Cyber Repair Plant, obviously, for Cyber Dragons in your grave. You can add a light machine type monster from your deck to your hand, or recycle 1 of your light machine type monsters in your graveyard. Then I run 2 Overload Fusions to go into my 2 Rampage Dragons. So you banish from your side of the field or your graveyard the fusion materials listed on a dark machine type fusion monster card. So it's like Poly, except it's for dark, and then it's field and graveyard, and you banish them. So it's just really good for Rampage Dragon, especially cards on the graveyard. Like, you can just use a ton of materials for that, and then just totally blow up your opponent's back row. And then you can just attack 3 times with 2100. So, really good card. And then also, if you go into it with Power Bond, you can attack 3 times with 4200, which can just win games automatically. Then 1 limiter removal. Obviously, Machine Deck doubles the attack. Crazy. Like, if you get out Power Bond and then Twin Dragon and then activate limiter removal, then it goes up to like 11,200, and then let's say your opponent for some reason had like a 12,000 attack, you can just honest the crap out of them. I mean, that's just insanely good card. Then Machine Duplication, so when you have a core on the field, you can just activate Duplication, get out 2 Cyber Dragons, and then either get Fortress Dragon with 3,000 attack, or you can get out your Nova through your Infinity. Then I run 3 Toon Table of Contents, deck thinning card. I activate Toon Table of Contents, then search my other one, then activate that, then search my other one, then activate that to search my Toon Cyber Dragon. So great deck thinning. Then I run 2 Twin Twisters because back row can really jam up this deck. And so you gotta run 2 Twin Twisters. It just blows up your opponent's back row. Then 1 Instant Fusion to target mainly Panzer Dragon. Sometimes like Parapsychroid if I've already... mainly Panzer Dragon. Every once in a while I'll target Psychroid with it. But then Panzer Dragon, so at the end of the turn when it's destroyed, I can just target a card on the field and destroy it. Then onto the traps, we run 3 Reckless Greed, are the only traps in this deck. Like, mainly, usually this is a bad card, but in Cyber Dragon decks, you kind of have to run it. I got this idea off of Yuki-Nono. Again, I really like his Cyber Dragon deck, and Cyber Dragons are like my favorite, and I got this idea off of Yuki-Nono because there's just so many cards that when you draw into them, they can like win the game for you. So Reckless Greed is very important because like skipping your next 2 draw phases isn't going to be that important in this deck because you're just going to be like searching and everything, and it's too fast to not have this card. So that's the 40 card main deck. Then onto the extra deck, I run 1 Barbaroid, the Ultimate Battle Machine. So if the reason I run that, I actually ran this card before I saw Yugi-Nono's Cyber Dragon deck profile. I didn't get this tip off of him, but like if for some reason my opponent destroys my Nova, like they'll think I'll just get out like a Twin Dragon. I can just get out Barbaroid and totally destroy him. So it can't attack directly, but it can attack twice during each battle phase. And then after damage calculation, if it attacked an opponent's monster, negate its effects, the opponent's monster's effects. And then when you destroy an opponent's monster by battle with it, your opponent loses 1,000 life points and it has 4,000 attack and defense. So it's just a beast. If you're playing somebody with a Cyber Dragon deck, you do not want them to get out Barbaroid. Then I run 2 Cyber Twin Dragons. I find this card very helpful to get out with Power Bond, attacking twice with 5,600. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Then 2 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragons. Like, this is just a good card when you have like lots of monsters out. You can just get it out with lots of attack. And then even like if your opponent has machine monsters on the field, you can use those. I kind of want to run 2 because it's so easy to summon, but I didn't have enough room in the extra deck, so I cut one of them. Then I run 2 Chimera Tech Rampage Dragons. This is there's a lot of hype about Infinity, but Rampage Dragon can sometimes is a lot more helpful than Infinity. But because it pops the back row, which is the main enemy of this deck, and then it can attack twice if you get out with Power Bond. It can attack twice or 3 times with 4,200. That can win games alone. Then 1 Panzer Dragon as the instant fusion target to destroy one of my opponent's cards when Panzer Dragon is destroyed. And then 1 Parapsychroid. A lot of times this is actually very helpful to get out with Power Bond because it'll get 3,200 attack, and then you can attack directly. And then it's an instant fusion target if I already have a level 5 out. so then I can get out Nova. But with 3200, get out Infinity, not Nova. Well, yeah, I guess Nova, then into Infinity. But 3200 can attack directly, very good. And onto the Xyz monsters, I run one Wind Up Arsenal Zenmayo. It's a great card. You can destroy 2 set cards on the field by attaching an Xyz material. And then one Constellar Pleiades, to level 5 light monsters. Once per turn during the player's turn, you can detach an XYZ material to compulsory card compulsory card on the field. 2500 attack, just a great card in Cyber Dragon decks. Then the Volcasaurus to burn your opponent, and 2500 attack as well, so it's a great card. And then I don't run 3 Nova and 3 Infinity, I run 2 of each, because like you never really get 3 of each out, and there's not enough room in this extra deck to run 3 of each, so I run 2 Novas. Excuse me. So it's a great card on its own even, like once per turn you can detach an XYZ material, then special summon a Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, and then you can also banish a Cyber Dragon from your hand or face up from your monster card zone without even detaching an Xyz material. And then gains 2100 attack until the end phase, so it has 4200. And then if it's destroyed by opponent's card effect, I'll summon Barbaroid. So it's extremely good card even on its own. And then when I get it also, if I want, get out Infinity, depending on the situation. Usually I'll get out Infinity. But because you don't really need Infinity at 2700, 2500 is fine. You can get out Nova, then just special summon Cyber Dragon from your graveyard, and then go into Infinity. And then you have 2 2100 attack monsters, and then you can negate your opponent's effects with Infinity, and it's just like insane. Then onto the side deck, I run 3 Effect Veilers, just a good side deck card for negating opponent's effect. Then 3 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbits, similar, just destroys my opponent's cards. And then 2 Maxis for draw power. I already have 1 in the deck, but if I'm needing more draw power, I'll side it in. Then I couldn't fit Raigeki into the deck, so I'm siding it. Then another Twin Twisters because I like this deck needs to be able to destroy back row. So if my opponent has like more back row than a normal deck, I'll side in a Twin Twister. Then Rivalry of Warlords. It's because all the cards in here are machine except for Honest, which you're not usually going to be summoning. So it's just if my opponent is running a deck with multiple types of monsters, then it's just really good against them. So I'm setting that. Then 3 DNA surgeries. So just for machine type in case I'm, for Fortress Dragon. I kind of want to main this card, but I don't have enough room in the deck. But it's a great card to side in because I can activate that. Like if my opponent has like 5 monsters and I have 5 monsters, I can activate DNA Surgery, then get out excuse me, Fortress Dragon with 10,000 attack. I mean that's not super likely, but still, like my opponent a lot of times with these like pendulum decks these days, my opponent will have like 5 monsters on the field, and I can activate DNA Surgery, declare machine, and then just win with Fortress Dragon. So I hope you like that Cyber Dragon deck. If you have any like questions, comments, or concerns, or things you think I should add to the deck or take away, please comment below. And see you next time. This is Yugi No. I mean, not Yugi No, sorry. DoYou-Gi-Oh.